Okay, hello. So to start this class today, we need a magic circle and the foam roller. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start rolling our quads. So if you come down onto your elbows, let the thigh be just resting on the roller. And then from here, we're just going to go for a little roll through the quads. So you can go down towards the knees and then come up towards the top of the hips. So take your time, don't roll too fast. Keep a little bit of connection through the shoulders as you roll as well. So you don't want to sink down and end up with a tight neck as we do this. You've actually got to use a little bit of connection through your chest, so pushing your shoulders or your chest away from the floor, and a little bit of connection through your tummy. Try and keep those legs as relaxed as possible and roll nice and slow. If the slow rolling is absolutely torturous, of course roll a little bit quicker, but the slower you go, the deeper you'll be able to get into that tissue. So that tissue will relax and let you deeper in, and it'll feel so good. Little external rotation through the legs as well, so the toes are pointing away from one another, the heels are pointing towards one another, and that will give you that little bit of an inner thigh kind of roll there. Come as low as you feel comfortable to the knees, but of course you don't have to come onto the kneecaps. All right, so from there, what we'll do is we'll bring our knees down and then we'll climb forward onto the roller. So we've got our shins on the roller. Now, shift your weight back so that the heels come, or the bum comes down towards the heels. And then as you do this, you want to roll and keep the weight over the roller, just rolling over those shins. Now, of course, if your knees don't fully flex, you can do it up here. Try and keep that weight on the roller, right? Well, over the roller, most of the weight on the shins. So either way is all good. I'm going to roll through the shins just a few times there. Just getting that nice massage. Is it nice? Maybe not. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to now sit over the roller. So if your knees won't fully flex, we're going to grab onto the box and you pop the roller on top of the box and sit over the roller. You can have your feet flat on the floor, so you'll be sitting kind of up like that. But when we're on the floor, we're going to tuck our toes underneath and behind us, and then we're just going to sit on the roller. I'll turn this way. We're going to grab onto our magic circle here as well. And then that magic circle is just going to come onto your sternum. So now this is going to be a bit awkward with this microphone, but I'll move it up a little. So I don't want it to be on the breast tissue because that's very uncomfortable. It's on the sternum, right? So just above any tissue. From here, we're going to wrap the hands around the circle. So as we wrap our hands around, we're really trying to hug that circle with a big wrap of the arms. As we wrap the arms, try not to let the shoulders hike up. So you want to keep a nice long sense through the neckline. We're going to take a breath in here. And then as we exhale, we're going to rotate around towards your right. So we're going to pause here, and then we're just going to hold in this rotation. So as you're holding there, we're going to send the breath in between the shoulder blades. So see if you can expand in between your shoulder blades as you breathe in. We're going to stay here for about 4 or 5 more breaths. So as you breathe in, expanding in between the shoulder blades into that little bit of upper spine area. And then as you exhale, just letting that breath flow out. Breathing in and then out. Got 3 more here. With your exhalation, see if you can rotate a little bit further around. Do you have that? And then on your next exhalation, we'll slowly bring the body back through the center. We'll pause in the center there. We'll take a breath in. And then with your exhalation, we're going to rotate the same way. So back around to your right side. And then taking a few more breaths there. So about 4 or 5. Are you a little bit more rotated than you were before through the spine? Use that breath to expand the space, create some movement in between the shoulder blades. Last 2 like that. And the last one. And then we'll slowly bring the body all the way back to the center. We'll take a breath in the center, and then with your exhalation, now we're going to go towards your left. So rotating around towards that left side, feeling nice and tall through the top of the head, and then sending those 5 inhalations into the mid upper spine. So we've got that nice breath in, expand in between those shoulder blades. So that spine in between the shoulder blades, we're trying to get that little bit of motion with that breath in. On your next exhalation, we'll slowly bring the body back through to the center. We'll take another breath in there. And then as you exhale, you're going to rotate around again. Keeping that sense of wrap with those arms around, shoulders are nice and relaxed, spine is tall. Do get a little bit further around this time. Two more breaths here. And then as we exhale, we'll slowly bring the body all the way back through to the center. Okay, bring your circle down, and then from here what we'll do is we'll just come off the mat and come over to the reformer. So you guys are going to actually sit down on your reformer and do this movement here, but what I'm going to do so that you're not looking right at my butt is I'm going to do it on the box this way. So you guys can sit just on the edge of your reformer, so you've got a side profile instead of a butt profile. Then I'll go this way. So we bring the magic circle, once we're sitting on the edge of the carriage, in between our knees. So just above, just lower thigh, right? So not on the knee joint because that's be very uncomfortable. We've just got the feet connected to the floor and sitting nice and tall here. So from here, we're just going to take a breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to squeeze the circle. And then you slowly release the circle as you breathe in. And then you're going to squeeze the circle again. So getting that nice connection through that inner thigh. And you don't have to make the circle into a tight little oval, but we do have that, change of shape at least a little bit, right? And then slowly open. We'll do like 4 or 5 more of these. Breathing out, feeling that nice connection and length through the top of the head. So you've got that little bit of support through the center, just sitting in an upright seated posture. So there is some energy here. We're not slouching, right? Breathing out, squeeze. Breathing in, release. As we exhale, this time we're going to squeeze and we're going to pause there. Now all we're going to do is rock the pelvis backwards. You can lift your hands off and just come on to that sacrum. Keep the squeeze in the knees. Take a breath in and then roll the spine back up and then bring your legs open. So we're going to exhale, squeeze, and roll back. We're going to inhale, hold. We're going to exhale, roll up. And then we inhale, we let that squeeze go, and we feel tall through the top of the head. As we exhale, squeeze the ring, tip the pelvis backwards, draw your pubic bone towards the sternum, rolling back. Inhale, hold here. As we exhale, we roll back up, find the sit bones, unravel the spine, and then we inhale, let the ring come back into that circle. Breathe out, squeeze the ring, roll the spine back. Inhale, hold. Exhale, rolling up. Inhale, open. 2 more like that. Exhale, squeeze the ring, rolling back. Good, pausing there. Nice breath into the back of the rib cage. As you exhale, roll the spine up. Find the sit bones tall through the top of the head. Release the squeeze. Last one. Squeeze the ring, rolling back. Inhale, hold. Exhale, slowly roll back up. And then inhale, open the legs. Good. Okay, from there, we're now going to do our little halo position. So we'll just practice that before we go down. The ring comes just behind that occipital ridge of the skull, so just that bony little bit. And then one hand and then the other hand just comes into the other handle on the other side. So we're going to lie ourselves all the way down here. But this is the position when we come into that halo that we want. The elbows are forward, the shoulders are down away from the ears, and you're just going to be lying down on the carriage widthways, right? So you've got your bum right at the edge. So we'll just lie ourselves down so that we can comfortably come down there, and then shimmy yourself just a little bit closer towards the front edge of the box, so more of your, carriage, so that more of your body is on the carriage, your upper body. Then we bring the circle behind our heads, and then from there we've got that halo position, so hands one on top of the other, and then from there. Now, I want you to drop your head down to either just in line with the carriage, or allow that upper spine and neck to extend just over the carriage. And then from there, we're going to lift the chest up, slide the ribs towards the hips, pelvis is tipped back, and then slowly lower down. So as we exhale, we lift up, push through the hands, push back through the skull, and then slowly lower. So the hands are pushing into the circle. The skull is heavy. It's almost pushing back. You get this beautiful work through the core, but also a little bit of work through that deep front of the neck, so your deep cervical neck plexus, or we like to call them the neck abs. This time we're going to pause at that top position. Can we lift one leg up into tabletop and then lower it down, and then the other leg up into tabletop and then lower it down, and then we can lower our head down. Now you could stay with just that single leg march, or you guys know it, lift the chest up, pause there, one leg up and then the other leg up, or stay with your single leg, and then now we add the load by extending one leg away and then coming back. You could keep the chest lifted, or as the leg comes back, lower the chest down. As the leg goes away, lift the chest up, push up with those hands, slide those lowest ribs towards the hips. But let's try for about 4 more in each leg. Breathing out, drawing the belly down, lift the chest, extend the leg, and lower. Breathing out, lift. Oh, we've got 6 more. Drawing the belly down, extending the legs. Nice and low. Only go as low as you can. Keep that center nice and connected, so don't let that pelvis rock. Don't lose that connection. Last. Almost 2. 1 more on each leg. You could still be just doing your marching. And the last one. Bring the legs in, lower the feet down, and then let your head relax. So if you need to relax, you could just sit yourself up. Otherwise, you can just flop, whichever feels comfortable for you. We are going to do another little sequence here with our halo again, and all we're going to do, same thing with the legs, but we're just going to add a rotation of the chest. So lie yourself down first, and then bring that circle behind the skull, and then from there we find that position. We're happy. One leg comes up, perhaps we rotate just to that leg, and then lower it down as we come back, and then the other, or you guys know the drill. Rotate towards the bent knee, extend the other leg away. We're still stable and still through the pelvis, and we're lifting the chest up and rotating the shoulders around. Good, so you could be just doing your one leg lift and lower, right? I'll go back to that just to remind you if you're like, oh, bloody hell, we're dying. How many more are we doing of these, Bree? I don't know. Let's go 6 more. Breathing out, extend that leg, rotate around. So lift the chest, rotate around, try and get that right elbow across to the left knee and vice versa, right, as you rotate. Good. What are we at? 2 more? No, not yet. 2 more now. Breathing out, up and lower. Last one, up and lower, and then let's call that one done. So relaxing down again, or if you like, you're sitting right up and taking a breath there. Okay, last one here. All we're going to do is go back to the knees with the magic circle in between the knees. Kind of forgot this at the beginning, but we better add it on. Okay, so from here, you could just roll yourself down, and then once you're lying, bring your hands behind your head, or we could do that little squeeze of the circle, and then you can slowly roll yourself down, keeping the squeeze, and then release the squeeze, bring your hands behind your head. So we've got that little tip back of the pelvis. The head can be relaxed completely over. This feels quite nice after all that work. As we exhale, we're still working. Lift the chest up, squeeze the ring. Inhale, lower the chest, open the ring. Good. So we stay with this if we want. lifting, squeezing the ring, lowering, extending the spine over. Keep that support through the center. So remember, when we come into this over extension, we're not going to arch the whole back and let the low back lift away. We want to keep that connection as we extend over. Lift. Now, if you like, stay here. Keep the chest lifted, lift the legs up. And then as we extend the body over, we lower the legs just slightly down. You don't have to go to the floor. I'm not. Lift the chest up. Bring the legs up. Over. And then up. You could just be doing your squeezes on the floor. As we go over, we release the squeeze a little. And then as we come up, we squeeze and lift. Over. Oh, how many more do we want to do these? 3. Over and up. 2. You can still have your feet on the floor. And up. 1. All right, here's how I'm going to get out of this. Feet into the strap. Give myself a little kick. And roll up. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's pop that circle just down to the side. I'm just going to move this box, but what you guys are going to do is you're going to lift your foot bar up. So we're ready for our footwork here. Just going to leave that circle just beside my shoulder rest so that I can have easy reach of that. Foot bar comes all the way up to the top if it's not already. And then from here, we're going to go for a spring for your footwork. Now, we actually don't have any single leg in this, so do not worry. But of course, you guys know the drill. If it's too easy, you put more on. If it's too hard, you take some off, right? So see how your body feels. But 2 reds and a blue is a nice, easy start position. But you guys could go 2 reds and a blue, 2 reds, a blue, and a white. 3 reds and a white, 3 reds and a blue, 3 reds and a blue and a white. So that was from easiest to hardest. Okay, so I like to throw these straps off because they jingle jangle and they drive me crazy. Okay, we're gonna lie ourselves all the way down. Shoulders are just up against the shoulder rest and your spine is in that centered position. Heels are on the foot bar, parallel hip distance apart. Take a nice breath in there once you're comfortable. And then we're just gonna extend the legs out. Good, feeling the spring tension. We're going to slowly come back in. So all the way out and in here. So nice, easy. I don't want to say it's easy because there is a bit of spring going on depending on how much you've chosen, but it's a relatively basic sequence here, sorry. So not too much coordination required. We're going to do about 10 to 15 where we just push out with both legs. So we're about 8 more, I guess. But it's always a guess. Who counts? Nobody. We got the last 5. Good, so you should start to feel a little bit of warming coming through those legs. Resisting the spring on the way in. And the last one, we go all the way to straight, we bend our knees, we come halfway in. Now in this halfway position, we're just going to slide the carriage in slightly and then push out. It's a pulse, but I want you to move really slowly, so it's not a bounce, it's just that small in and out. And we've got 8, 7, so calm, 6, 5, 4, smaller sides and out, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go all the way out to straight and then bend the knees and come all the way in. Cool. So we're going to bring our feet down onto the foot bar. We're going to bring our knees and our feet and our toes together. So everything is touching. Knees, heels, ankles, toes. We're trying to keep the feet in the midline, right? Lift your heels just slightly up here. And then from here, we're going to extend the legs all the way out. So once the legs are straight, we're going to bend the knees again and come in. So you feel that ball of the foot, little toe and the big toe, evenly balanced. So we're not going to flick those ankles out to the side every time we go out to straight. We want to try and keep those ankles as close as they can be together, right? So we've got that adduction of the legs. We're bringing them together. Good. We've got about 10 more here in my guesstimation of counting. all the way out. Now remember, with the heels lifted, that knee flexes a little more and the hip flexes a little bit more. So if it is at all painful through any of those joints, then perhaps you need to push your stopper out a little bit. If you're finding it really hard to maintain this centered spine position, so you feel like you have to rock the pelvis backwards every time you bend your knees and flex the hips, then perhaps that stopper needs to be pushed out a little bit for your long, luscious legs. Last two. And then the last one. We'll pause there. We're going to bend our knees, become halfway in again, and then we do those small little pulses. So small out and in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, no bouncing. 5, oh, it's quite hard. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All the way out to straight, and then let's bend the knees and come all the way in. Now we're actually going to keep the feet here, so we're not going to let the legs come apart, we're going to keep them together. We're going to extend our legs all the way out, and then from here we just drop the heels down under the foot guard. Go for that nice stretch. Lift the heels up, and then we're going to bend the knees and come all the way in. Now we're going for our ladder here, so we're going to go all the way out, and this time we lower and lift the heels 2 times. Lower and lift, lower and lift, bend the knees, come all the way in. Good, all the way out. This time we've got 3, lower and lift. 3, 2, all the way down, all the way up, and then bend the knees, come all the way in. All the way out for 4. Legs are straight, but if you are a knee locker, make sure that they're not hyperextended. And the last one, lift the heels, bend the knees, come all the way in. Just makes you work a little bit more. If they're not locked, we're going 5, through the muscles rather than just locking that knee joint out. 3, 2, and 1. Lift the heels. All those calves are warming now. Last 6. All the way out. Lower and lift. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift the heels, bend the knees, come all the way in. Okay, so from here we're going to go wide through the feet. So toes are slightly turned out, knees are slightly turned out, and we're on the heels on either corner of the foot bar. From here we push out and in again, just those full extensions of the leg and coming back. Those knees are just that slight little bit turned out. You don't have to be flopped, right? I'm going to keep a little bit of a diagonal angle through both knees. All the way in. So when I'm doing this wide press coming in and out, every so often I just pause just briefly as I come into the stopper and take a breath in and then push away. Let's get that nice wide sit bone, wide pelvis as we come in. But keep the breath just flowing, right? Don't want to hyperventilate. Next time the legs are straight, we're going to bend the knees, come halfway in, hold there, and then we've got those small little pulses. 8, 7, small pulses. So it's not a bounce, remember it's just that slide. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All the way out to straight. And then we're going to bend the knees and come all the way in. Good. From here, the balls of the feet are on the foot bar. We lift our heels right up. Once the heels are lifted, we're going to keep the heels lifted the whole time. We're going to push the legs out. So we're still in that little external rotation. A little bit uncomfortable on the little toe there on the arm of the foot where you could shimmy your feet slightly more in, but you want to keep the big toe and the little toe kind of connected. So it's on the outside of the arm of the foot bar and the big toes are on the black, right? So we're going to bend our knees, come halfway in. We drop our heels down. We lift the heels up and then we push the carriage all the way out. We bend the knees, we come halfway in. Stabilize the carriage, no moving. 2, lower and lift. Oh, it's a ladder. Lower and lift, push the legs all the way out. Bend your knees, come halfway in, hold the carriage still. 3, lower, lift. 2, and 3. Lift the heels, extend the legs, and then bend the knees halfway in, lower and lift. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift the heels, extend the legs, Bend the knees, come halfway in. Oh, 5, 4, 3. You've got one job, and it's to count, and you can't do it. All the way out. I know, I hear the negative talk. Lower and lift. 6, 5. I'm going with it. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Extend the legs all the way out. Bend your knees, come all the way in. All right, bring your feet to the foot bar. Well done. I think we did 6, but who knows? Let the knees just fall all the way over to one side. Let the spine rotate with the weight of the legs. And then over to the other side. So knees can be together, or knees and feet can be wide. It just depends on what you like. I like to do both. So I do one with my knees and feet together to each side, and then one with my knees and feet wide. Less rotation through the spine with wide knees, but more rotation through the legs, and vice versa. All right, so from here what we're going to do is we're going to sit ourselves up, and then we're going to adjust our spring down to our, you could go for a blue and a red spring here, or you could go for a blue, a red and a white. We've got that magic circle, so it's just within arm's reach, and then we're going to reach and grab onto our straps here. So once we've got the straps in the hands, just make sure that they are of similar length. If they're not, we'll have to stop and change them. Okay, and then from here, I'm just ripping my hair out. From here, we're going to hold the straps in one hand, lie yourself down. So, sorry, just to say again, blue and a red, or a blue, a red and a white spring for our fin straps here. Push the legs away. You'll have 2 floppy ropes. One foot bends the knee, and then you take the weight through that leg by just pushing that leg slightly. We're going to push away all the way, and the other leg comes to tabletop. We put that foot in the strap, and then both legs are now in the straps. Now I've got my straps down by the heels. I'm going to bend my knees here so I can reach for that magic circle. And I'm just going to slide the magic circle. It's up in between my lower shins, right? So either handle is on my lower shins. And then from there, I push the carriage away slightly, and I can come into that 45-degree angle where my legs are extended out. A little bit of support through my tummy here. I'm going to lower my legs just slowly down, and then keeping the legs straight, we're going to lift the legs back up. So we're going to find that range where we're lowering the legs down. We're not going to let that back arch away from the carriage to get them lower. And we're going to lift the legs up. We're going to find the range where we are not going to let that low back push down into the carriage either. So we may have, everyone might have a little bit of different range where you can maintain that stability through the pelvis and spine as you lift and lower the legs. Keep that little bit of support through the center just as you lift and as you lower. But all in all, we should start to be feeling those inner thighs really here with this circle. So lowering down. Again, a tiny little bit of softness in the back of the knee if you're a knee locker with this exercise is going to make you work a little bit more through the back of the legs rather than just locking the knee and pushing through the joint and losing some of this beautiful work. Good, so we're lowering down and then lifting up. Just go 4 more like that. Good, last 2. And then the next time the legs are lowering down, instead of bringing them straight back up, we're going to bend the knees. They come to tabletop, and then we push the legs away. We bend the knees. The knees stop just over the hips. They could come a little closer if you can keep that stability through the pelvis. So this is going to be a little bit more hip flexion as my knees come closer towards my chest. So again, I don't let my tail lift up as I bend my knees. I want to keep the pelvis still. Good. We got 5 more like this. As the legs go away, same deal, the spine doesn't lift off. You should start to feel a little bit more work now, coming not only through those inner thighs, the front of the hips slightly here as well. Last 2. And the last one. Okay, so the next time the legs are bending, we're going to stop the knees and they're going to stop just above the hips. So now they're not going to be closer, even if you do have that range. From here, the hands come beside your hips here. We're going to take a breath in, and then I'm going to get you to let the spine rock back. So as your spine rocks back, the low back touches down, your tail just lifts off. So you're going to just lift off. The knees will come a little closer to the chest, and then I'm going to get you to bring the knees back over the hips, untuck the spine by rocking the pelvis back into that neutral, and then you can push the legs away. So it's just this tiny little add-on. We stop the knees just as they are over hips, and then we rock the pelvis backwards. We still have a nice connection into the feet. We come back into that neutral position through the pelvis and spine, and then we push the legs away. Now you could stay with that. If your body loves that part, then just stay with that part. Little rock back. It's small, it's precise, and it's controlled. Or next time you're rocking the pelvis backwards, keep the feet pressing in, let the legs come up, let the tail come off and the spine. Roll back down the spine, bum comes down, push the legs away. So we bend the knees, we rock the pelvis backwards, the knees come up a little, we use the glutes a little bit to roll up to the top where our knees are still bent, back into that neutral, push the legs away. Yeah, rocking back, up, rolling back down, and then away. So if you're just staying with that smaller option, fine, but I want you, if you're coming up higher, to make sure that you're connecting in with the feet. So I don't want you to just let the strap pull you over, right? I want you to try and think about going up and over. So as you go up, as you get to the top, you're going to go up and almost you're going to use your glutes in the front of the hip joint will open, and then we roll back down, and then we push away. If you want, you can try the straight leg version. The legs come up just over the hip, and then from here, keep the feet in the straps, roll the spine up. Use your glutes. The hip joint is open. Roll down, the hip joint is flexed, and then lower. Good. Let's just go for about 6 more of whatever you're doing. Rolling down, pushing away. Up. If you're going for the full version, use your glutes at the top. The carriage doesn't move that much. The legs are thinking about going straight up. The knees are, of course, a little bit soft. And we have that pressure into the feet. Uh-oh, I've forgotten to count. I think we got 2 more. Oh, what's new, Bree? You guys don't have to say it to me. I know. Oh my God, those inner thighs. They've had enough of this ring. This is the last one. Should we do a squeeze? No, we won't. Good. Bend your knees. All right, I did think about it. I was like, no, that's too much. Bring that rope out, strap out of the way. Okay, now there is there's nothing that gives you a release from this. You could try a little diamond position, butterfly, toes pointing towards the foot bar. You could go for a nice wide pull. I hold on to the straps there. You can just do whatever you want to do there, a little side to side, to try and get that tension away. But guess what? It's not going to go away till you come out of the straps. So push both legs away. One foot comes out. The other is on that 45-degree angle and it's staying straight. Once that strap is off the foot and to the floor, then we reach that other foot to the foot bar. This leg stays straight now, and then we take that foot out of the strap. Throw that to the floor, and then we can come all the way in. Good. From here, again, we can do that little side to side, just allowing that little bit of motion through the spine before we come all the way up into our seated position. All right, cool. So from here, we're going to adjust the spring, and we're going to lower our foot bar all the way down. So spring tension is going to be for our back rowing here. So we're going to sit on the box with the back rowing. So we're going to go for perhaps a blue and a white, or you have a red, or you could have a red and a white, or even a red and a blue. I think some of you like quite a firm spring on this one. So blue and a white would be easiest. Red, a little harder, red and a white, or even a red and a blue. So I'm going to work through the shoulders, the back of the body, and the arms as well. So we pop our box onto our carriage in the long box position, and then we reach for our ropes here. I'm going to sit onto our box. So shimmy yourself right back and then slide your arms through into those long loops so that the the loops are right up by the elbow or forearm. Lower the elbows just down below your shoulders, sit nice and tall, and then we're going to pull those arms back, opening the arms out, and then slowly come back forward. So as we exhale, we pull back. Now this is definitely going to be the easier for your spring. If you're like, oh, I haven't got quite enough spring on, I feel like I want a little bit more. Of course, you're welcome to whip some on or just shimmy back a little bit, making sure that you are still over the carriage if you're shimmying back like I am. So I'm not going to sit right at the end of the box, otherwise my box is going to tip. I could go like this. Oh, my legs aren't long enough. What a surprise. So nice work in between the shoulder blades. You feel that little bit of retraction of the shoulder blades right at the top. Elbows are staying low, so it should be a little bit more targeted to that lower tip of the shoulder blades in between that lower tip, right? Drawing back and then forward. We've got a support through the center. We've got about 4 more of these. Last 3, 2, and then the last one. Let's pause back there. Now we can just hold in this position, bring your arms forward whenever you like. Otherwise the elbows lift and lower. We're going to try for 10 of these. Lift and lower. Bring them forward whenever you need to. I'm thinking about it now. We got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and the last one. Or bring those arms all the way forward. If you shimmied back and have a heavy spring on there, that would have been fun. All right, bring your hands now into the small loops. Sitting nice and tall, we're just going to do our straight arm pull back. So the hands just brush past, pulling those arms back, still keeping those collarbones nice and wide here. So we have that little bit of an attention, sitting at attention in the spine. So we're not flopped down, sinking down, right? We want to be sitting nice and tall. That gaze is straight forward rather than up or down. And keep that nice neckline as well. We've got 5, 4. The spring tension may feel a little bit heavier than the other one because now we're pulling a little bit further away from the box. If you're like, nah, it's not enough, shimmy back or add some more. 2 and 1. From here, we're going to bring the arms forward. We're going to turn the palms down and we're going to pitch the body forward. Now, I almost want to hold up into that tiny loop, but I may regret that. It's just to me that little bit of more spring tension, right? So I was finding that my ropes were a bit floppy there. So if that's the case for you, then off you go. So body is pitched forward, not rounded forward here. I'm in a nice long line from the top of my head down to my pelvis, but I've just hip hinged. So if you need to, you can let those legs come out of the way, right? Otherwise, palms are facing towards the back, and then we pull those arms back, bend the elbows, keep the center connected, and then push from here. 10. 9. Keep that upper arm nice and still. Breathing out. 7. 6. 5. All the way to straight. Even that wrist. Push the fist through. 3. 2. And 1. Bring those arms all the way forward. I'm going to slide back down to that small loop again. If you did, come with me. Wide arms. Palms are facing forward. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straight into your bicep curls, palms facing in. 10, 9. Keep going. I'm just going to change my straps. Those big long loops against my face and they annoy me. So if that's happening to you, no, it's not just you, it was me too. Elbows can stay lifted here so you get a little bit more deltoid, front of the shoulder. But if it's too much and you're getting tension up through the neck, drop those elbows down. We got 3. Might be a little bit more of a 10. Sorry, I made you guys keep going. and one. Not sorry, it's a bonus. Bring those arms forward. Straight into your rotation here. So the left, or yeah, let's go to the left. All go to the left. Left arm pulls back, right pushes forward. So keep that even tension through both ropes. Rotate that chest right around. Push that fist up, pull that arm back. Pulling and rotate. We got 5. No, it's got to be 6. 4, otherwise we'd do 1 to the 1, 2 less. 3, 2, no, stop counting wrong. The other way, 1 more. There it is. Okay. Bring those arms forward. Okay, from here, both straps, long loops in one hand. Turn yourself around. Now, we're going to go for our chest press here. We're going to do our offering with the palms facing up. Then we're going to come into our hug a tree. We're going to try for 10 of each. So if you know that your chest needs a little bit of help here, we're going to decrease the spring down to perhaps a blue. You could go for a blue and a white for something a little heavier, a red, or even a red and a white. And if you are in beast mode today, you could go for heavier than that. All right, I'm actually going to go down a little bit because I'm going to film another class after this, and I do not want to show you that I'm struggling. Okay, bring the hands so that the hands are in the small loops. Shimmy yourself back so the knees are just at the edge, right? You guys know this, right? Really well. Feet are just dangling, right? If you're tall, maybe you could go like this, right? If your knees will allow that. Okay, so from here, body is upright. We're going to push those arms straight forward and then bend. Stop the elbows just as they get to the ribs. Breathe out, push forward again. And then bend the elbows. Oh, we've only got 8 more. 7. 6. 5. 4. Good, so the hands just stay lower than shoulder height. 2, stop the elbows as they come to the ribs. 1, let those toes come onto the gear bar as you just let those arms relax for a moment. Good, you can even bring your hands behind you and give your chest a little lift. Good, just to open that chest up a little bit. And then from there, we're ready for our wide hug the tree. So chest is nice and lifted again. We're going to push those arms straight forward with palms up. And then we slowly bring those arms to that wide V. Good, so stop and soften the elbows a little. And then imagine that circle is on the sternum like we did right at the beginning. We're going to pull those arms around. We feel that space increase in between our shoulders, shoulder blades, and then we open. Breathe out, pull. Breathe in, open. Make those arms come a little bit further if you can control it, right? So the hands can come a little bit further back, but with control. Good. Oh, I think we're only at 4. Might be 5, but we'll go from 5 now. 5. 4. Oh, 3. 2. And the last one. Oh, I almost forgot. I said 2 before, but we've actually got a third one. So if you need to, whip a little bit of spring off. From here, again, we're going to go for that nice little stretch through the chest. You can lift the sternum up, let the shoulders draw back, lift the chest up. You don't have to flop the head back because we can't talk like that, but also it doesn't feel good. Okay, from here, hands come in. No, what do? They go like this. So we're going to bring the hands so that the palms are to the front, and see how my ropes are just behind me now. So both straps are on the outside of my arms. I'm going to pitch the body forward here and regret instantly that I didn't take that spring off, but we're flowing, so let's go. We're going to push the arms up, they come overhead, and then we slowly bend the elbows. Oh, this is kind of nice. It's a little bit of a stretch through that chest as I come to my capital E. And then push away again. And back. Push up and away. Bring those arms right up. You're a little bit tipped forward again, so it's that hip hinge position once more. Right, so the spine isn't rounding forward. We've got 6, 5. This isn't as bad as I thought. 4, 3, 2, And the last one. Slowly bring those arms back, toes to the gear bar. Okay, step your toes up onto that wooden platform, throw those ropes down to the side there. And then what we'll do from here is we're gonna just come off the side of your box. Okay, so we're gonna pick up your foot bar. So bring the foot bar all the way up to the top here. Now we could stay on, let's go for a blue spring. If you want a little bit more challenge, you're gonna go for the white spring. We're gonna go into a supported plank to start, and then we're gonna do a full plank just to get some full bodied work here. And we're just gonna do a few of each. And so the blue spring is going to be a little bit more supportive, and the white spring is going to be a little less. So I want to have my knees on the box and my shoulders over the foot bar. Now I'm going to push the carriage back a little bit, still with my knees underneath my hips, and my shoulders are still over the foot bar here. From here, just going to slide the legs out. So you're going to come into that supported plank position. You're nice and connected through those shoulder blades, so you're pushing out like you're at the top of the press up. And then you're going to bend your knees, bring the carriage back underneath you. Good, so we can go out and in. And if you're happy with that, stay there. Otherwise, tuck those toes off. As the legs come out, we're going to lift the knees off. We find our plank, and then we come back in. And then we go out. Lift the knees as you go out. Keep those shoulders strong and stable. And then come in. We'll do 4 more where we're coming out and in. And then of course, you know it, we're going to go for a hold. So if you feel like you can't do a hold with the knees off, after we do this last one, we're going to go into our full hold. So either knees down or knees come off, connect through the center, push that chest away, you're at the top of the press up, holding there. 10, 9, 8. If you need to make it harder, slide your shoulders back. 6, 5, 4, not too far. 3, 2, and 1. Bring your shoulders forward, bend the knees, come all the way in. Good, sit yourself all the way back. Bring the, if your knees don't like this, you can always sit here and then pull the foot bar back towards you. Let the head drop down there. You guys can be in your low kneeling if your knees don't mind. Pulling back. Taking that breath or two into the shoulders. And then we'll pop that foot bar down. And from here, we're going to come off the carriage and bring the box just over to the side. And then what we're going to do here is finish with our mermaid. So mermaid, I'm going to be your mirror. We'll try the best I can to be your mirror. We're going to go for a blue and a white spring. So if you have that white on, put on the blue as well. And if you have the blue on, put on the white. Of course, Z-sit is most definitely optional for knees. We can throw one or the other out here. But make sure that if you are coming into this medial rotation through the leg that's up against the shoulder rest, like untuck the foot so it's behind the back shoulder rest. Trying to be even on the sit bones. And then so I'm your mirror, so your left hand is on the foot bar and you're reaching down through that right sit bone. From here, we're going to go over into a big, beautiful lateral stretch through the body. Take a nice breath in to that top rib cage, coming back. The hand comes to the front shoulder rest, and then we go over towards those shoulder rests. Lifting up and out of the rib cage, hand comes to the foot bar just in front of that shoulder, so not behind, over into that big lateral stretch. Take a nice breath there, and then come back. And then bring the body up and over towards those shoulder rests. Good. One more like that to each side. So up and over into that big lateral arch. Try not to push the carriage away too far. Can you see how my spine is not flexed anymore? It's in that long position, so we want to keep that flexion. Then we come back. So it's just the arms and the torso that moves. The pelvis stays down. We're reaching down through that right sit bone. As we go over this time to the left, we pause. So hold in this position. Now, if you want, you can lift that right sit bone off and lengthen the body out, and then rotate the chest down. Bring your right hand to that corner of the foot bar, and then your left hand to the back corner of the foot bar. So here, the shoulders are rotated around. Now, with this position, your spine is rotated. A little easier to do the rotation here. If you want to feel a little bit more stretch through that mid-spine and your spine doesn't mind it, then we let the carriage come in. Now, I'm kind of pushing here into my backhand, which will be your right hand, and your left hand is going to pull. Sorry, vice versa. Left hand is the pusher on the back corner of the foot bar for you guys, and the right hand is pulling. Taking that breath in there, let the head drop. And then we'll slowly bring your right hand to your left. We'll de-rotate the body, and then we'll bring the body all the way back up. Hand comes to that front shoulder rest, and then over to that side. And then come back. From here, we're going to turn ourselves around. We're going to do that all on the other side. So, left leg is in the front. Whoop, no, the right leg is in the front. The left leg is up against the shoulder rest. So right hand to the foot bar, and then we go over, sinking down through that left sit bone. And then we're coming back. And then the hand comes to the front shoulder rest as we go over. And then back. Good, we've got 3 more like this. All the way over into that nice big lateral stretch. Take a nice breath into that top rib cage. Lift the rib cage up and out of the pelvis as we come over, so no collapsing down, right? Up and over, like you're lifting your rib cage up and over a big barrel or something like that of wine or beer, whatever you are having this festive season. Over to that side, we're going to pause there. So pausing there, let the sit bone come off, lengthen the carriage away more so the torso is lengthened out, and then rotate the chest down. Both hands on either corner of the foot bar here. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. Spine is long. If you want that little bit of extra stretch and your spine doesn't mind it, you bring the carriage in and you drop that left sit bone down. That was a lot of brain work. Good. As the right hand for you guys is pushing into the foot bar, that left hand is almost going to pull back like you're trying to twist the foot bar. That just feels so good. All down through that lat, down through the side of that right side of your spine for you guys. And then we'll slowly bring that back hand to the front. We'll de-rotate the body, and then we'll come all the way back up. One time over to that side, because man, it feels good. And then we can come all the way back up. Spin around. Okay guys, so thanks very much. Hopefully you enjoyed that class. Do it again, let me know if you liked it or you hated it. Just pop the straps back onto the shoulder rest. Hopefully you didn't hate it. Remove the spring, and then make sure you give the carriage a good push away so that everyone knows that there's no spring on, but that's good to save the spring tension. And then we're going to wipe down everything and then put all the props back. And if you're the last in the studio, make sure that you aircon lights and lock the door. Cool, thanks.